Hi, my name is Robert Shelley with Shelley Law, and my law firm assists physicians with employment contract issues. Today I'm going to talk about tips for negotiating a contract for a hospitalist. So I have some good news and some bad news. So the good news is there certainly are areas within the employment contract that a hospitalist can negotiate. The bad news is one of the main areas where it's difficult to negotiate is the base salary or hourly rate. I find most of there's two ways a hospitalist is staffed. Either they're employed by the hospital or there's a staffing company / physician group that then contracts with that hospital to staff, the hospital with hospitalists. I find that most of those companies want to keep the rates standard. So especially if there's an hourly rate involved. I mean, the variables for any hospitalist job is either the base salary and then the shift expectations per year, per month, or what the hourly rate is, usually with the shift differential if someone's going to work as a nocturnist. So in that scenario, when the hospitalist is negotiating, the company will normally push back and say, look, we want to keep the rate standardized. Obviously, the physicians are going to talk. There's going to be most likely some kind of friction if one person is making $20 more than another. So if it's an hourly rate position, I find it's very difficult to get the organization to move off of that. If it's just a base salary, there can be some movement, although there's going to be a pretty narrow range of what the movement could be on a base salary. And then additionally, there can be some kind of movement as far as the shifts required. So some places, the longer that the physician has been with that company or hospital, their shift expectations may change over time. And that's a place that we can sometimes negotiate. The areas of the employment contract that you do have some movement on would be signing bonus, relocation assistance, non-compete scope, and potentially whether they pay for either your old tail, which is called nose coverage, or whether they pay for your tail when you're leaving. I'd say those are the main areas that there is some movement. Now, how does a physician determine what's a fair signing bonus for a hospitalist? Well, it depends where you are in the country. So if you're looking into a facility that's in a difficult location to staff to, so more rural communities without kind of large cities around them are always harder to staff. That's just the reality. And so the hospitalist has more leverage in asking for a higher signing bonus. There are also communities that will not only provide a signing bonus, but can provide student loan assistance as well, where they'll literally just pay a certain portion to the company that has the student loans. Normally, that can be a substantial amount of money, somewhere between $50,000 to $100,000. But as far as the signing bonus goes for hospitalists, I'd say anywhere between 10 all the way up to 50,000 could be a normal range. And then you certainly want to make certain that the organization is also paying for your move. One thing to keep in mind, especially for hospitalists coming out of training, is the timing of those bonuses can be negotiated as well. You're in residency, you don't make a ton of money. Some people don't have $15,000 to put down for a move, because most of the time they'll state that they will reimburse you. So one of the negotiation points that we have is either them paying the cost directly to the moving company or providing the signing bonus upon executing the document, signing it, not just when the hospitalist starts the job. Non-compete can be important as well. Now, if you're in a one hospital town, then a non-compete has almost no effect on you because it needs to be reasonable. Something that's reasonable is usually somewhere between 5 to 15 miles in 1 year. But if you're in a large metropolitan area, certainly, and you want to stay in that city, decreasing the radius of the kind of geographic restriction certainly is something that we would look to do as well. And then, as I mentioned before, with the malpractice insurance, sometimes you can work on, if the organization provides your tail or not. Tail insurance, good rule of thumb is it's usually about twice what your annual premium is. For hospitalists, probably somewhere between 7 to 10,000. So your tail cost would be 14 to 20,000, something like that. So is it possible to negotiate points in a hospitalist contract? Obviously, yes. Hourly rate, tough to get any movement. Base salary, maybe a little bit of movement, but signing bonus, non-compete, who pays for tail, those are the areas that I think you should focus on. I appreciate you watching the video. If you have any questions, you can always call us at the phone number listed below in the description, or you can reach us through our website, shellylaw.com. That's CHELLE law.com. And I appreciate you watching the video. Thanks.